What's up, guys? Welcome back to the TheSlamDuncan YouTube channel. This is kind of just like a catch-up video about the Chicago Bulls, kind of updating just my thoughts on how I think this team is playing, where this team is going, just good and bad things. Because I did not do a video for the past, 2 games, I guess, technically. I didn't do a video about the 76ers game or the Kings game, but this is my video for the Rockets game, but, I'm not just going to be talking strictly about the Rockets game, but I want to catch up on these 2 games for this video. Talk about some things about, the overall just team, and just tell Bulls fans to, get excited about this team. Just enjoy what's happening right now, because we're seeing some really good things recently by this Bulls team, right? The title of this video is Bulls fans should be excited, or BullsNation should get excited about this team right now, because I'm seeing a lot of, Bulls fans just not really excited about this team, or just they're constantly looking to change this team, or look to see who they can hire or fire, or who can we trade for what, and that's just the type of mindset that I'm like, man, I can't stand some Bulls fans right now. It drives me insane. And a lot of the time, it's funny because it's like a bunch of casuals that are finally starting to watch the team because they're finally relevant again, right? So, I don't know if I said this in a video before or if I just only tweeted it, but this season has shown me just how stupid the BullsNation fan base is. There are so many people in this fan base that are absolutely stupid, and they're complete casuals who think they know the game, right? But they clearly don't watch this Bulls team, or they check in, every week, or once a week, and they're like, oh, I know what's happening. I follow this dude on Twitter who watches every 5th Bulls game. You'll see him tweet when he's actually watching the game, which is usually only one day of the week, and he starts tweeting oh my God, Wendell Carter Jr. sucks. How dare the Bulls even keep playing this man? This dude can't do anything. Why does that drive to the rim? He sucks. And I'm just thinking to myself, have you not watched any of these games? Because you clearly haven't. Because if you're complaining about Wendell Carter Jr.'s play, then you did not watch, Daniel Gafford in the starting lineup for however many games. Or you did not watch when Cristiano Felicio and Luke Cornett had to play big minutes because we didn't have Wendell Carter Jr., right? That's the type of stuff that I'm like, wow, this is how stupid this fan base is. And it drives me insane a little bit, right? I just really want Bulls fans to be like, come on, this team is actually building something. Don't just start thinking wow, this guy sucks, or Billy Donovan sucks, or let's trade this guy for this, and this. No, don't. I'm sick and tired of that. But let's get into the games. First off, in this game for Chicago Bulls, it was a nationally televised game, so it's kind of a big game. All I can really say is that Joel Embiid happened. I don't really have much to say about this game except for Joel Embiid. He had 50 of the 112 points, so it just shows how dominant this dude was. But I think the main thing I took away from this game was, as you can see right here, the Bulls just could not, get things going. The three-point shot wasn't going down. They missed a lot of wide-open looks, and they obviously couldn't stop Embiid. But even when so many things were going wrong for this team, they still stuck to what Billy Donovan has been teaching them all season. And they fought through the adversity. At one point in the 4th quarter, they took the lead, right? And they made this a close game when Joel Embiid was dominating. And the Bulls weren't supposed to win this game at all. There was no reason for the Bulls to win this game, but they made it close, right? And even when Zach LaVine got off to such a terrible start, shooting-wise, he was still doing such a good job of getting to the free throw line early, and he closed this game out really, really strong. He really gave this Bulls team a chance to come back and win this game. Unfortunately, they did not. But this is growth. This is some severe growth from this Bulls team. And that's really good to see, is that when things are just going completely wrong for you, you have Joel Embiid getting dominated, or being dominated by Joel Embiid, and your three-point shot can't go down, you're missing shots, you're still able to stay in this game, right? And that was some severe growth from this Bulls team. I'm happy to see that. So one of the things, that I have really watched this season is okay, you lose a game if you're the Bulls. I'm more looking at, okay, how does this team respond? To me, the response from this team is something big. And this Sacramento game for the Bulls, it was overall a good game for the Bulls. I do think, though, that this team could have played better as an overall unit, but some guys came ready and smacked the Kings in the face, and this Kings team was clearly not ready to play this game. But other guys for this team were clearly not ready, and they let the Kings stay in the game. the Bulls led by double digits for a decent amount of this game. But unfortunately, just due to, some guys not being ready or just guys making bad decisions, the Kings stuck around. At one point, they got back within 2 in the fourth quarter. And then Billy Donovan at that point is just like, okay, LaVine, Young, get back in the game. Once those guys came back in the game, then, the Bulls ended up winning this game. LaVine hit the dagger. And just look at LaVine's stat line, bro. This is incredible. I mean, just look at LaVine's stat line. 38 points on 15 to 20 shooting. 75% from the field, 3 of 6 from 3-point range. That is an incredible stat line, and I'd love to see it. But some guys, though, they didn't really come ready. Denzel Valentine did not come ready to play this game, and he played a lot of minutes, but also chucked up some bad shots. And that's the type of stuff I don't want to see. Kobe White kind of put up some bad shots, but, you have LaVine and Young, really keeping it down for this team. And even a guy like Patrick Williams, he started out bad, but then he definitely came back in the second half, and he played really well in the second half. What needs to happen is every single player needs to be ready to play for this team, no matter who the matchup is, right? So that's something that needs to get worked on. But overall, it was a pretty good game for the Bulls. As you can see, the shooting numbers are completely different from this game to this game, right? So things are just overall much better. One thing I do have to say about this game is rebounding was an issue. As you see, Marvin Bagley had a pretty good game. But Hassan Whiteside and Marvin Bagley were just killing the Bulls with offensive rebounds. And I understand that's going to happen because this team plays small, especially with no Gaffer, no Cornette, really, and no Felicio in the backup unit. So we're playing Thaddeus Young at the 5, and Wendell Carter Jr. starting. When you do that, you're playing small, so therefore you're going to give up a bunch of rebounds. But I think this team needs to just do better overall at rebounding the ball, and that includes the guards, right? If we're going to play small with, Thaddeus Young at the 5 and Patrick Williams at the 4, you need to make sure that the guards also get in on the rebounding, because just Williams and Young is not going to be enough to rebound the basketball. But the overall rebounding was pretty even. But as you can see, the Kings had a bunch of offensive rebounds. Moving on to this game, this was an absolute blowout by the Bulls. But this doesn't tell the whole story because the Bulls got off to a 14-point lead early in the first. The Rockets came back, and then early in the second quarter, they even took the lead. And this is, again, an issue in terms of just some guys weren't ready to play. The starters for this game, and I'm including Kobe White, especially Wendell Carter Jr., the starting lineup really came in, and including Thaddeus Young, these guys came in okay, we're ready, right? And they brought it right in early. They're okay, we're going to take advantage of this small unit from the Rockets. But then, the bench unit comes in, and it was guys like Valentine, who yet had another terrible game. I'm at this point, I'm just why does Valentine get minutes? And also Satoransky in the first half. Those two guys came in and they're big parts of the second unit, but they changed it, right? When LaVine and Young come out of the game, right, it's just the second unit has to really be good. Take good shots, do the things that this Bulls team did to get the lead, right? And instead of seeing Valentine chuck up a bunch of shots, or Satoransky is chucking up threes when he shouldn't, right? That's the type of stuff where it's guys have to come ready to play no matter what. Even if you're a guy off the bench, you're not starting, you need to come ready to play. And when the stars or the main guys come out, you need to come ready and actually play well. Don't come in and play like Valentine, right? So that kind of, irked me a little bit. But as you can see right here, the third quarter was by far the best quarter for the Chicago Bulls this year. Easily. The Bulls put up 46 points. At one point, they had 12. They made 12 straight shots, and I'm going to show a little bit of that in my video clip. But this was an overall incredible third quarter on both ends of the floor, to be honest. And it was LaVine got that quarter started. He got the run started, and then it was the vets also in the lineup that kept with the run going. And it was just a great sight to see because it really showed what the Bulls are doing. But main thing, just from looking at some of the stats here, I want to point out the Bulls are 8th in assists, but also first in assist percentage. And just looking at these last 3 games, right? You're starting to see the culture built with this team, right? You're starting to see that this team is building a culture of we're going to share the basketball. We're all going to be unselfish. We're going to move the ball. We're going to have guys get a bunch of opportunities. We're not going to be selfish. We're not going to be taking bad shots. We're not. The last thing I wanted this Bulls team to become was the Rockets under Mike D'Antoni. How it was just hard in dribble, shoot. That type of game or that type of play is horrible. I hate that type of basketball. And you're seeing the opposite for this Bulls team. And that's what I really like to see being built. And that's what Bulls fans should be excited about, right? You should be excited that you're seeing the culture being built right before your eyes. That this team is going to be a very unselfish team moving forward. And that should be appealing for guys, free agents, and then guys that you're going to be drafting. You're going to be drafting based off the culture you're building right now. Billy Donovan has come in and done such a great job with this team right now and is already setting the culture in just his first year, right? We're 13 games in, and you're seeing the culture being built. That should be exciting to you Bulls fans. And I don't know why a lot of Bulls fans are like, nah, Billy Donovan, Or you're seeing guys like, this guy isn't improving. I'm like, a lot of guys are improving this season, right? But that's what really, one of my main points of this video is, be excited what's being built before your eyes. And these 3 games really show that this Bulls culture is officially starting to be built. And I love to see what I'm seeing right now. This game that we just saw against the Rockets, and we saw the passing in the third quarter, that was incredible to see. That was so fun to watch. Other things to be excited about. I talked about the cap space. I talked about Larry Markkanen. But basically, though, for the Chicago Bulls, right? If you want to check out the Markkanen video, it'll be up here, or also link in the description. But this Bulls team has a bunch of cap space right now moving forward. But not only do they have cap space, they have a bunch of draft assets, right? And what I love about this team right now is Karnisovas can take this team anywhere. And I think it's important to understand that Karnisovas is going to, do what he wants with this team. This season was an evaluation season, right? But next season, though, this is going to be the first season where we're going to see Karnisovas be like, okay, I want to keep this guy. We can get rid of this guy. He's really going to start making changes to this team, right? He's going to officially, put his, vision into place. And you should be excited to see what Karnisovas is going to do. So, one of the things I want to talk about is, this was reported by Bulls Facebook Live, or Daniel Greenberg then tweeted this out that Karnisovas and Donovan are going to have a meeting about the trade deadline. Now, in my opinion, as I sit here today, I don't know how much the Bulls are going to be doing at the trade deadline, but I don't think the Bulls are going to be doing much. That's my guess. Because this is, again, an evaluation season. One of the biggest names right now is Thaddeus Young. I don't see Thaddeus Young being moved unless it's like 2 first-round picks or something, and no team's going to give up that, right? But another person like Larry Markkanen, a lot of people are starting to think that he's going to get traded. And to be honest, I already, again, in the video up here or in the description, I said that I don't think Markkanen's going to be on his team in the future, especially next season. I don't think he's going to be there. But I don't think he's going to get traded right now. The reason why is because I think his value right now is actually just so low that I don't see him being traded. But not only that, though, I think Karnisovas still wants time to evaluate him because he just has not had time due to Markkanen being out with COVID and now this injury. So I think Karnisovas is probably not going to do that much in the trade deadline, but don't be surprised if he does a move where it frees up more cap space for here, or maybe, I'm just saying maybe, he somehow finds a way to take on a bad contract, but he gets a first round pick out of it, right? This is the type of stuff, and this is the flexibility that the Bulls have. Karnisovas could do that at the trade deadline, or he could do what I just said in the offseason. He has so much cap space in the offseason that he can be okay, give me this bad contract that you have right here so you can open up that money, but give me that contract, but then I'll take out a first-round pick. That's flexibility, and that's good to see, because if the Bulls can get any assets they can, that's really exciting, right? So just ideas being thrown out there, but again, Bulls fans should be excited about that idea that Karnisovas can do stuff like that with this team moving forward. I don't expect this team to be, amazing next season, right? This team isn't going to be a contender next season, right? And we're not going to go out and get Kawhi Leonard. That's just not going to happen. But, just be aware, and, if Karnisovas makes a move that initially you think, why would he make that type of move? Don't immediately just be that doesn't make sense. What a stupid move. He has ideas in mind, right? Just look at what it does for the Bulls' future moving forward. But last thing I just kind of want to do before I get into the video, just... This is the type of stuff where I think media, or people that have power in media, are kind of ruining some Bulls fans. And just wanted to point out just some tweets here. So, if you do not know, I got into a big argument with Joe Coley on Twitter. If you do not know Joe Coley, just look him up and you'll figure out why this man is kind of in the head. But basically, the whole argument was about if LaVine should get a max contract or not. I said that, hey, I'm paying LaVine that money right now. This dude is averaging 29 points per game this season, 50-40 shooting splits. Like, I'm paying this dude this money. And we went on a whole argument on how to build a championship type team or whatever. But this dude right here is the reason why for some Bulls fans for being so dumb or just being so pissed off at the team, right? And he put up one tweet about me because he was trying to argue with me, and he said that because if I would pay Zach max money, then congratulations, you made this team a number 5 seed, congratulations Gar Forman, in reference to Gar Forman, previous Bulls GM, because the Bulls were basically a mediocrity with Gar Forman at GM. But what I found funny with this is just, I'm like, yeah, so I'm Gar Forman, yeah, the person who 100% did pay Jimmy Butler. The person who thought that Jimmy Butler could be a part of this championship, be part of a championship caliber team. The person who did not trade Jimmy Butler because he didn't want to pay Jimmy Butler a max contract. Yeah, because I'm that dude, right? Please. I'm the opposite of Gar Forman. Because Gar Forman did not want to pay Jimmy Butler. Therefore, he traded Jimmy Butler and thought that Jimmy Butler couldn't be a part of a championship level team. Well, we end up seeing that the Miami Heat paid Jimmy Butler a max contract, and the Miami Heat made it to the NBA Finals. Interesting, right? So, don't call me Gar Forman when I'm willing to pay the best player on the Bulls team currently. Don't call me Gar Forman when I'm actually willing to pay Zach LaVine that money. Man. But if you want to see this whole entire thread, just, Duncan_Wide14, or go look at his Twitter and just look at it. Because the main thing that I see with this is, like, he writes articles for Chicago Sun-Times, and this is where the casuals come in. They read his article, they trust everything that he says, and it's like, okay, I know everything what the Bulls are doing right now. They don't. No, you clearly don't. So just putting that out there, I thought this was funny. But other thing I want to say is just like this dude right here is just this is where I'm coming from right now, where I'm upset, and another dude right here. Actually, I didn't actually went away, but there's like a trade Zach LaVine account right now, and it just bothers me because this dude starts putting out things and it's like that doesn't make sense. But this is the type of stuff I'm seeing right now. It's like this dude's saying like, oh no, we should trade Zach because Zach's on a different timeline, he's a valuable asset, right? And that this draft upcoming is going to have such incredible talent. And I'm like, look, you could say to me that this draft class has incredible upcoming talent, but we do not know if any of these guys being picked are going to become superstar level. Because you're basically telling me that if we get rid of Zach, right, that, no matter what, we're going to draft a guy that's going to be at Zach's level or better. That's what you're telling me if you're saying, no, we should just trade Zach, get assets, tank, and then hopefully get a top pick, and then we'll pick a guy that's going to be a superstar. That's not how it goes, right? If that's the case, then Markelle Fultz would be a superstar right now, right? That's no disrespect to Markelle. Like, I think Markelle is becoming a better player day by day, but, he didn't really show up the first couple of years. Therefore, it's like, it's like this is the type of stuff that I don't think Bulls fans understand, right? And I don't really care if you're going to tell me that, hey, this draft class has so much stuff coming up, because at the end of the day, look what we're doing right now, right? This Bulls team is almost in the playoffs, right? We're basically in the playoffs right now. And if we get, end up in the 8th seed or 10th seed or 11th seed, we're not going to get a top 4 pick or whatever, right? So it's not like we're going to get the top prospects from this draft. So what I'm trying to tell you is be excited that we got guys right now on this team that can clearly go out and actually play good basketball, right? We at least know that right now, that the guys on this team that we have can go out and play good basketball. Are some of these guys going to stay? Some of these guys going to go? Yeah. But at least you're building a foundation with these guys, right? You know that some of these guys are going to stay next year. Be excited about the guys that we have, because, we can go draft a guy and we don't know what they're going to turn out to be. And I find it funny because it's these types of Bulls fans that say this, right? But they're also the same people that hated the Patrick Williams pick initially. But now they love Patrick Williams and they're like, oh, let's go build through the draft again. But it doesn't make sense to me when you say that, because you hated the Patrick Williams pick. Because if you're saying, oh, wow, this draft class upcoming is so good, we should just keep drafting guys, well, then why did you hate the Patrick Williams pick? That's a top 4 pick. But then you ended up liking him, because you guys were clearly wrong about that initially, and now it's like, okay, yeah, let's go draft even more guys. and pray that they're going to become anything. Now, look, I like Patrick Williams, but a lot of people are like, oh, he's going to become Kawhi. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that Patrick Williams becomes Kawhi Leonard, right? But you know what is a guarantee? Zach LaVine's going to be an all-star this season. That's a guarantee right there, right? And we know that we have Zach LaVine right now. And you should be excited about that for Bulls fans. And, Bulls, Zach LaVine should be named an all-star today because this video drops on Tuesday. And tonight should be named all the all-star reserves should be named on TNT. But that's what Bulls fans should be excited about, is that we have an all-star on our roster right now. And that could be a foundation piece for this team moving forward. So, end of all, just, all the stats, all the tweets, all that type of stuff. But, again, though, just be excited, Bulls Nation. It's okay to be excited. But getting into some gameplay here, this is just part of the takeover by the Bulls in this game. As you can see right here, it's a 5-point game, so it's still close. But LaVine got it going. Kobe White ended up having to come out just before this happened here. He got elbowed in the face twice, then hit his neck on the back of the stand here on the other side of the floor. And then once Kobe White came out, I think LaVine flipped a switch because White was having a pretty good game. But once he saw White go out, he said, "Okay, time to take over." And I even tweeted in halftime that in this game, Zach did not really score in the first half of this game. He had 7 points, but he was the distributor. He had 5 assists. But I even said, look, Zach was the distributor in the first half. That's gonna change in the second half. I said that, right? And I knew it was gonna happen because we've seen it all year, right? And this is the type of stuff that you should be excited about if you're Bulls fans. You have this man right here. Just watch. Ready? Size of PJ Tucker. Bang. That's 3 points, right? I'm gonna skip ahead here so we can see mostly just the Bulls offense. But I love this play right here because I was watching it, and at one point I said, "Oh, got him," and I knew that PJ Tucker was toast. Just watch. But right here, oh, got him. And that little hezzy right there, when I saw PJ Tucker fall for him, I'm like, oh, it's over. Zach's making this. And there you go. That's 6 points right here. In just that small amount of time, right? Zach, 6 points, right? And this is the type of stuff where I talked about in this play right here. This Bulls team is building a culture of we're going to be passing the ball a lot. We're going to share the ball. We're going to be unselfish. This is a prime example of it, right? Thaddeus Young has been great all season, but one of the things that we're seeing right now with this Bulls team is that everyone can pass, right? And everyone's so unselfish, and we're all, guys are moving. That's foundation and culture being set, and that should be appealing to other people, right? But this is a prime example of this. And right here, you got Thaddeus in the post, and as you can see, he's drawing everyone's attention over here in the post. But this is the main stuff that I wanted to talk about is, last year, we saw just everyone at this point would just stand at the 3-point line. And you would rarely see a post-up last year, right? But look at what everyone's doing. First off, Garrett Temple moves a little bit, but the main person here is Satoransky moved from here to here. What this does is that this takes the attention of John Wall and Daniel House, and it puts their attention onto Satoransky, right? Because if Sato moves right here, he can become a threat as a back cut. But doing that takes their attention. Therefore, these two guys on the weak side, they can't come over and double Thaddeus Young. And that's important because then Thaddeus Young is still then a threat to score, but not only score, but also be able to pass the ball. LaVine then back cuts PJ Tucker right here, and there you go. Should have been an and one, by the way. But that's the type of stuff that's being built for this team, and it's good to see. And that's the type of stuff that should be appealing to other people. Hey, come play in Chicago. We're going to play this type of basketball with you here. But moving on for another Bulls play, I just want to talk about one more. And it's, just showing how good of a coach Billy Donovan is. Billy Donovan has done such a good job this year of recognizing, okay, what are these players good at doing, and how can I set them up for success? Or maybe can I use this guy's strength to help set other player up for success, right? But right here, this is out of a timeout by the Rockets, because the Rockets, the Bulls just went on a little run right here. But right here, Thaddeus Young in the high post. And, this is really good to see right here that they're even starting a play like this, because Thaddeus Young is such a threat in the post now that guys are aware, right? And you can use that to your advantage. So you guys, Sato then handed the ball right back to him. But look at what's happening over here. So, initially you're probably thinking, what terrible spacing. But look what it's already done to these guys. First off, Eric Gordon, you can't even see him really. He's behind Garrett Temple. So he's kind of already in a terrible position, right? But Tate's here, and then this is House right here. But this right here makes the Rockets think, oh, I can guard these three guys with just two guys, right? This will be simple. So then what happens when Satoransky drives hard to the rim right here, you see Tate comes over to help, right? So now Satoransky's done his job. He's gotten 2 guys, he's drawn 2 defenders to him, right? And now what's going to happen over here is anything, really. And it's up to Satoransky to make the right pass. Like, if, let's say, Tate doesn't come over to help, this is an easy layup. But because Tate does come over to help, now you got 2 Rockets guys trying to guard 3 Bulls players. This is great by Billy Donovan, by the way. Once these guys spread out, someone's got to be open, right? It's 3v2 in this situation right here. So the Rockets have to make a decision. They make the worst decision possible. They let LaVine loose right here. No one takes LaVine, which is the biggest mistake you can do. And Satoransky makes a good dump-off pass to LaVine. And Wall then tries to come over to help. As you can see, it's already too late. And hits LaVine and 1. Great play out of a timeout. But again, just showing you the type of stuff that Billy Donovan is building. Like, that's a play that can be run out of a timeout. And that's such a good play that utilizes Young's ability to be in the post, Satoransky's ability to drive the basketball and use his height and passing ability. And then it also uses Garrett Temple's shooting ability up here and then LaVine's athleticism here. That's just using players' strengths to your advantage. And that's just good coaching. So just some plays I wanted to show you from the Rockets game that I thought is important to look at because, again, we have LaVine here who should be named an All-Star today. And just, again, to Bulls fans, be excited about this team. Don't be so down about this team and be like, wow, this team is going to be, we're not making the playoffs this year. Like, don't think that way. Think about what this team can do moving forward and be excited about the foundation being built before your eyes. Like, this is the culture right now for this Bulls team. Be excited about this culture of, like, we're sharing the basketball a lot. We're seeing that this team is so unselfish, that this team is going to be willing to pass the basketball, that this team can basically take in any player, any type of play style and be like, we can fit you in and then use your strengths to help this team win. That should be exciting for this team. And we've seen that this team is growing through just these 3 games right here. These 3 games show that this Bulls team is growing, especially with the young guys. Like, these guys are finally starting to understand their role, their place, and everything. So that's all I got for you for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you got to this point in the video, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Comment down below whatever you guys want. I'll try to engage with you guys in this video in the comment section. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.